Okay, this will be step one of the mechanical biped walking robot. This mainframe prints flat like this on your printer. No supports required anywhere. It's designed that way. We're going to start by installing the switch. In my case, I like to use these little slide switches. They're 19 millimeters from mounting hole to mounting hole. I've already put 2 wires onto it to make it easier for the video. Basically, the switch is going to sit down inside here. The screws, the toggle will hang out here. But these 2 little holes are going to be for the wires. So I want to try and feed the wires in through there. Actually, I don't know if they'll go with that solder already on the ends of them there, haphazardly on the ends of them. If not, I'll have to trim it. But let's see, I think I can get it started maybe with some needle nose. Yeah. So I suggest if you do this, you don't glob on all this solder on the ends of the wires first like I did, pre-tinning them. I'm going to poke them up that way. It's going to keep the wires out of the gears and other linkages and things going on when we route this stuff around. And just push that in there. That. Let's get the switch down in here. You can solder the wires on afterwards. I just thought it might make it easier for the video. So far, it hasn't really made it any easier, I don't think. Generally speaking, you need some metric number 2 machine screws for these slide switches. You can get the switches on Amazon and eBay just like you can get the screws on Amazon and eBay. Even AliExpress you can get this stuff. And let's just tighten that down. We need to get this out of the way first because right above it is where the battery box is going to go, and that gets glued in place, and it'd be kind of hard to get down into that switch. In other words, I'm going to be gluing this double AA battery box on right there. I'm not going to hold it quite yet. This one we're going to use the standard TT motor, the 48:1 or 148. I've already pressed on the gear. The motor's going to slide up from the bottom. In this case, I'm having the gear on the right side of the robot. And it'll push up. Oh, preparations for this. You've got to cut off the little pieces that stick out here and the piece that normally flaps over the end to hold the motor in place. Snip all that off. I even snipped the thing off the end. The motor is going to be held down in place by this top part here. Just when you push it up in place, it contacts that and that keeps the motor in there. Then I'm going to go ahead and put a screw here in America. It's just a short 632 screw like you might find from an old light switch or AC power receptacle. Or you just go to the store and buy one. I'm not sure that I can keep this in camera and do a slotted screw. It'd be much easier if it was a Phillips head. Here we go. If you don't have a screw, of course, you can always glue the motor in place so it can't get lost. I guess didn't really want to have to do all this with glue on here, but I guess I'm going to have to. I'm going to go ahead and try some of this B7000 glue. You see, the nice thing about this stuff is that the tube has a little metal tip on the end, so you can put it exactly where you want it, and when you put the cap on, it's a little metal rod goes inside the little metal tip, and it never seems to clog. At least it hasn't yet so far. So I like it better than the E6000 from the clogging standpoint, and I like it because if you're trying to put the glue in one particular place, it's a little bit easier to do that. Okay, in this case, I know I'm going to want positive back here when my motor... Oh, this is also laid out so you can use not only the single shaft TT motor, but you can use the dual. The shaft can stick out here and it won't hurt anything. So whichever one you have of this most common motor. And let me get the soldering gun heating up here, so when we're ready to go, it's ready to go. Okay, got that heating up. And in this robot, I'm actually also going to have a light display in the chest and the front. So this cut in here is where I'm going to put one of these sequential displays like you can find on Amazon and eBay and AliExpress dirt cheap. And up here on the top, on the two pins that normally for the positive and negative already soldered on, they voltage boost voltage regulator to change the 3 volts that we have up to a nice clean 5 volts for running this display. This thing I'll actually run anywhere from 5 to 15 volts, but in this case I had that regulator, so that's the one I'm going to use. Let's see if the soldering gun is warm enough to attach. And like I say, I don't know that I can hold this stuff in camera, but I think you've seen people solder before, so no big whoop there, right? Like so. And the negative wire, I think I'm gonna run it around the backside because there's gonna be some gears and things, and I don't want the wiring to be able to get snagged or caught in anything here. Let's just try to poke it around. There we go. And bring it around. Just like so. That's good. So this red wire is going to get, in the end I'll probably tack it or something to make sure it can't get in anywhere. The black one looks like it's good and safe. And I got this red wire coming from the switch. It's got to go to the positive wire of that battery pack. And normally it would be better if these weren't pre-tinned, because then you could twist the 2 wires together and get a good mechanical connection before you try to solder them. But both of them had been used for other projects, so I already had solder on them. We'll see. We'll see. I think that'll probably be okay. Say in the end, I may secure those things down to make sure they can't get anywhere I don't want them to be. Next we've got this large gear, and it prints flat like this with no supports. And it's going to slide into this hole. You can lightly lube that if you want with some white lithium or silicone. It's not really necessary. Then this matching gear, which prints flat again, no support. You can see they're keyed to go together. And if yours fit loose, you can certainly glue them. But if yours fit nice and snug like mine, may not need the lube. There we go. So that should all sit together like that. I'm not 100% sure how much further we can go. Let's I'm going to put this soldering gun in standby mode, and we'll proceed on here. So basically, I've got these leg parts. I've got this main piece here. This is going to be down in the foot area, and this linkage here, and these are just pins, as you can see, that are pushed in holes just like those down here. I'd already put some glue on those, is why I didn't bother to pull them out because they were down on the feet, and I didn't want that part falling apart while we were talking on the video. But just to give you a rough idea of what we're dealing with here. I don't remember if this one fits here or not. Like so. Now this one up here, before we put it on, there was a right and a left of this inner linkage piece, and you'll want to fit that down on there first before you shove its pin in, like so. And then this hole up here, it could be anywhere. In this case, it's up there. We got to line that up so both these pieces fit in. Like I say, in the end, these three don't really need to be glued, because when the body slides down, it's going to come right up against those and hold those in. The only ones I was really worried about are these ones that are going to be down in the foot area. I didn't want them coming loose. And this is going to be the foot, and again there's a right and a left foot, and this little piece that's hanging out there has to tuck inside that piece when you assemble it. So again, that's going to need some glue on that, but I actually don't know whether this will work or not. This part that I'm pinning on just came off the printer, has not been tested, so it may not work. So this leg unit over here is the same, it's just the one on the right. I already assembled that to help save some time. Let's pin that. Pin that. And pin that. Okay. Now actually I could probably test this now, even though this battery case definitely is not dry by any means. Let's stick some batteries in there and find out if things are working or not. Okay. Seems to be functioning. Again, I've got this piece which needs to glue in here, and I'm going to end up just soldering its wires right onto the motor connections right there to give it power. And can I do that now? Let's find out. Let me heat this little guy up again. I'd shut it all the way down. They time out if you don't use them after X amount of time. Got these little buttons falling out because you didn't glue them. You know what? I don't think this is going to be worth running the video, however long it takes for this to warm up, solder the wires on, and do the new little buttons. So we will just simply start the next video once the battery and this is glued in. That'll already be soldered on, and I'll go ahead and glue the bottom pins into the feet.